It was a busy Tuesday morning. I was standing in line at a coffee shop near my workplace. It was one of those busy mornings, people in scrubs, people with laptops, the hum of espresso machine in the background. And right ahead of me was this beautiful woman in blue scrubs. Her hair was tied in a neat little bun and she had this laugh, very light, easy, the kind that wants to make you want to lean in and hear more. And when it was her turn to order, she stepped up, graciously greeted the barista with the biggest smile, and said without hesitation, "Hi, could I get an iced triple blonde espresso with 2 pumps of white mocha, 2 pumps of brown sugar syrup, topped with vanilla sweet cream cold foam, and could you please add some extra caramel drizzle to it? That would just make my day." The way she ordered was so perfect. I can't even mimic what actually happened in front of me. It was so graceful. She already knew what the barista was going to ask her next, and she had this flow. It just, she threw in just the right amount of small talk, asked the barista how they were doing, tipped them generously, and when he asked for her name, she simply said, "It's for Amy." And off she went like a breeze, effortless. And then it was my turn. Sal, the barista who had seen me at least 50 times by now, looked up and said, with this cheerful grin on his face, "Hi, I love your eyeshadow." And me, I say, "I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking." "No, thank you." "No, oh, that's so kind." "No, oh my God, I love your eyeshadow." Nothing, nothing. That right there is how I am on daily basis. Oh, and before I go any further, welcome back to Deep and Meaningful Conversations with Jasmine, or as I like to call it, D&M with Jasmine. So back to the story. This happens to me all the time. I have a million things to say in those moments, but unless I've rehearsed them in my head multiple times, what comes out is awkward. And then later at night, I'm lying in bed replaying the whole interaction with Sal, thinking, why did I just say that? Now it might sound like I'm just poking fun at myself here, but honestly, this happens to me a lot. Routine situations, ordering a cup of coffee, making small talk, sometimes even just taking the Uber to work. It just feels so stressful that I have to make a small talk. And what if I say the wrong thing? What if it just becomes so awkward? How do I go from there? Especially there's this little elevator at my workplace, and sometimes my boss would be there when I'm also in the elevator. It is the most awkward experience, and I have it very often. I feel that every time I see his steps coming towards the elevator, I just get off of the elevator because I would rather not. But this is sometimes how my life is, whether it's just mispronouncing a word or two or getting the grammar tense wrong, and just my whole body flushes with embarrassment, or I don't know what to do with my body. Should I stand with my hands behind my back? Should I what do I do with my hands, in these socially tense situations? And just these conversations keep me up at night, and it's not comfortable. What interesting is that awkward people are not, better or worse than anyone else. I think we all have had awkward moments in our lives. It's just when you're socially awkward, you just see world differently, where some people walk into the room and instantly know what to say, like Amy. Others, like myself, we have to exert a little more effort to master those social graces that might come so naturally to others. And there's actually some research on it, the anxiety that often comes with awkwardness, what psychologists sometimes call it, is social anxiety. And this can significantly interfere with your daily life. And it's not just about a minor coffee order, it can affect your performance at work, your ability to speak up in class, even how you navigate friendships or dating. And with the right amount of help and some mindfulness exercises, there are ways that being in socially awkward situations can have less effect on your life. Like for me, especially, I would say that being socially awkward has given me some strengths or some skills that I have developed over time. For example, if you've ever seen me at a party, you wouldn't find me in the middle of the room commanding attention. You'd actually find me in the kitchen helping the host. I'd be the one arranging a charcuterie board, inventing games for people to play, coming up with some drink recipes or folding napkins into flowers because it just gives me something to do with my hands and just keeps me occupied. And over the years, these little coping mechanisms have turned into real skills. I can make a flower out of lemon peel, and I'm really proud of that. Just the way I decorate the charcuterie board, just give me some nuts, some cheese, and a knife, and I can just cut the fruit into amazing shapes and I can make it look beautiful and pretty. So I would say that I have used my social awkwardness to become something that is my strength now. So, yes, I may be awkward, but I've also found ways to contribute meaningfully and something that adds value to the room that I enter. And I just need a little time to warm up, to ease in, rather than just being thrown right into the spotlight. And here's where the phrase that I live by comes in. One of my favorite researchers and authors, her tagline is be awkward, brave, and kind. To me, this means choosing vulnerability and discomfort over perfection. It means that acknowledging that, yes, I might fumble my words, but I showed up. It means that courage isn't really about being smooth and flawless. Rather, it's about showing up when you feel uncertain, when you feel messy, when you feel like you're the least cool person in the room. Being awkward, brave, and kind also means extending grace to others because you know what it feels like to stumble. You're less likely to judge other people for stumbling. So maybe one day I can finally look Sal in the eye and say, hi, it's always so nice to see you. Could I please have a decaf vanilla oat milk latte? And thank you so much for your kindness. Until then, I will keep practicing. I will keep showing up awkwardly, bravely, and kindly. Because at the end of the day, being cool is overrated. Being human, awkward, and cringe is what really matters. So, thank you so much for being here with me throughout this episode. And remember, being awkward, brave, and kind is a superpower. And to anyone who's listening, and to myself as well, this is a mental reminder for myself. The next time I feel that I have to run away from the elevator just because my boss suddenly shows up, I will take a breath and remember that I can always fold my hands and just act like I was praying. So, thank you for being here with me. Have a great day.